Hey guys, and welcome back to my Gaea tutorial series. Today we'll be diving deep into the RockNoise node and exploring its various properties and options. The RockNoise node is an incredibly versatile tool in Gaea, allowing us to generate realistic and detailed rock formations with just a few adjustments. To find the RockNoise node, we'll go to our toolbox right over here, and we're going to look for it under Primitives, and it's going to be under the Perlin. There it is. We'll just drag that into our graph. And there we go. That looks pretty cool already, doesn't it? As you can see, the properties of the RockNoise node are just a few, but we'll go over each one of them. But first, we're going to dial everything down to 0 so we can see what each option is doing. Sometimes you may notice that your settings are not being updated in the viewfinder. And this Apply Changes lights up, and you've got to click it right there. This can get a little bit annoying. It's nice to have though, especially if you have an older system where your resources are really chugging along. But I'm doing pretty well over here, so I'm going to undo that. Instead of applying changes, if you click this little lock button where it says Auto Apply, now it'll automatically update every time you change a different setting. So I'm going to dial these all the way down to the very basic. And you can see I've got these little rocks scattered all around. And if you look long enough, you can see it repeats quite a bit. I've got some repeating rock here, the same one there, there, and there. That repeats quite a bit. So let's go play around with the size setting. The size parameter determines the overall scale of the rock formations generated by the node. A smaller value will result in finer details, while a larger value will create larger, more prominent features. As you can see, that small size, they get really subtle. But the higher up we go, they get really pronounced. Those big ones are pretty cool. I kind of like that. Let's go ahead and lower this down to a smaller setting of 2. There we go. The next setting we have is density. There's 4 different options for this. Density controls the distribution of the rock formations within the generated terrain. A lower density value will produce sparser rocks, while a higher value will create denser clusters. And let's move on to the next setting, Octaves. Again, we have 4 different values for this. Octaves dictate the level of detail in the generated rock formations. Increasing the number of octaves adds more complexity and intricacy to the rocks, resulting in a more natural appearance. And we'll set this down to the lowest setting. And finally, we have the seed setting here. The seed parameter allows us to control the random variation in the generated terrain. Changing the seed value will produce different patterns and configurations of rocks, giving us endless possibilities for customization. Alright, and there's all the settings. Let's play around with this. Wow, this really repeats itself though, doesn't it, guys? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to change my rock size. Ramp that up good. I kind of liked it as a larger rock. And I think I'll add a bit of a density to it there of 3. Maybe 2. Oh, that is looking pretty beautiful, don't you think? You can still tell it repeats quite a bit here, but it's less noticeable. What if we make these the biggest size rocks we can get? I don't know about that. That looks a little bit too... almost like some spackle on a wall or something. Let's change this up to the biggest rocks we can get. Oh, that looks a lot better. I like that setting. Oh, that's pretty cool. There we go. Now I'm seeing less of that repeating pattern going on, and things look a lot more random. This is a great node for stacking multiple times if you want to create some more effects in your landscape. And there you have it. With the RockNoise node in Gaea, creating stunning rock formations for your landscape has never been easier. Experiment with the size, density, octaves, and seed parameters to unleash your creativity and bring your terrain to life. If you found this tutorial helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tutorials on Gaea. Alright, my friends, thanks so much for watching, and happy terraforming!